Hello everyone, this is Shawnee Noctowls, and tonight I wanted to share a bit of my personal experience with Cernunnos. I know there aren't as many videos out there speaking of one's relationship, one's connection with Cernunnos as there is with the Morrigan, but Cernunnos is a image or a Celtic presence I've connected with that has been a little bit different than my relationship with the Morgan. It has been kind of intertwined in a way, but Cernunnos to me, from what I have experienced, is Cernunnos is more so an image of my own primal masculine force. What I mean by that is Cernunnos is essentially at least for me, is the masculine force that is within us, that is truly wild yet free if we allow him to be, and if we allow ourselves to break a lot of the chains of Eld, so to speak. During the Middle Ages, Cernunnos still is, but in the Middle Ages, and maybe even a bit before that, when the Romans were, conquering different Celtic lands, they saw that Cernunnos was one of the most prominent male gods of the Celtic people, and they saw him as a threat to their view of a Roman Catholic or Christian empire, so to speak. So because of that, they demonized Cernunnos, and they fashioned him in what you would see in the Christianized version of the horned devil, or Satan, as it were. And unfortunately, it has caused a lot of people to view Cernunnos now as some sort of malignant force, if only because they do not know the true nature of him or are willing to understand. And it's a bit of a shame, and that is why Cernunnos to some extent has been kind of forgotten as opposed to some of the other gods and goddesses, due to a lot of kind of misinformation, distorting, and kind of just an unfortunate kind of occurrence of events that occurred to him into the male personification and image, or masculine personification and image of the Celtic people. But I think that learning to embrace Cernunnos, learning to embrace my masculine self, is something that empowers my masculine force. There are many people who connect with the Morrigan and who see her as a force that helps them reclaim their personal sovereignty and their feminine force. But I think Cernunnos uh, definitely helps me embrace my masculine force. And the difference between Morrigan and Cernunnos to me is Morrigan, I see her at times as a bit more of an outer presence in the form of a raven or a crow, but I also sometimes see her as part of myself as well. And indeed, she is part of our self and part of our shadow and part of our feminine form, so to speak, at least for me. Cernunnos, on the other hand, I have never really seen a standalone image or force of him. If anything, Cernunnos is more so the embodiment of my primal energy. The best way I can describe that is if for anyone who's played Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Wolf Link, or when Link first turned into a wolf, he was very confused about it and could not understand why he was changed into such a primal form. But as Midna helped him learn how to kind of tame and channel his primal energies, he was able to balance his beast and the human within him. And I think Cernunnos to that is me, where Cernunnos is a reminder of learning to accept and understand the beast within me, or the primal masculine force of me, but also learning to tame and work with it constructively. And I think Morgan and the Crone Raven have definitely helped me with that. And I think that so many people nowadays kind of push away the notion of viewing themselves on a similar playing field as animals or beasts, so to speak. And that's why whenever I eat something nowadays, even with plants, because again, plants also, are living organism and being, and they should be given respect just as animals should be. But whenever I eat salmon or whenever I eat chicken or things of that nature, I always try to give thanks for what I'm eating, because what I am eating is something to be grateful for. And I think it's important to be grateful for the food that you receive, especially when life transitions to death. And you know even if there is a harvest, learning how to be thankful for that harvest and to be thankful to the energy and to the gift and to the sacrifice, yet kind of bounty you're receiving, I think is important. And I think, that's why whenever I, eat, I wish to be thankful. Not only, when eating, you know, animal products, but also even like, plants, because, the plants are just as important as the animals, and being thankful for the harvest that the plants provide, whether it be wheat, whether it be corn, whether it be, you know, vegetables, squash, lettuce, all things connected to the earth. I think it is important to be thankful for what you receive, and I think it helps me become more connected to the earth and more grounded in reality, and to see things in a more kind of connected way. And I think Cernunnos is definitely something that helps with that. The thing with Wicca is, although there are, studies of it that connect with, the occult, darkness, the Raven Night Sky, uh, the Starry Night, things of that nature. Cernunnos definitely helps one to kind of connect to the earth in an almost druidic way, where other than just looking at the stars and the hearth and the raven night sky and the dark, Cernunnos definitely helps at least me to connect to the earth and to the underworld. And Morgan's there too, of course, and the Raven and Crow are there to assist. But it's all kind of interconnected, and that's why I see Morgan and Cernunnos as more so a duo working together. Um, Kind of like how spring and autumn do, and I think that's very important to kind of recognize the balance and how the god and goddess work together. And I more so connect and embrace Cernunnos and Morgan more so as beings I can connect with on a grounded, rooted, yet intimate level, where they are part of me, yet they also help guide me in understanding myself better. And it's not something that a lot of other spiritual paths can always advocate. There are some spiritual paths that people are fine with just connecting to an outworldly, spiritual being that they can't really always connect with on an intimate level. But for me, Cernunnos and Morgan definitely help me get in touch more with myself, get in touch with the rootedness that I am and the earth that I am. Yet being okay with that and learning how to work constructively. And I think that if one learns how to accept their primal forces or primal kind of energies within themselves, but learns how to work with it, then I believe that is something that can help bring a lot of balance to someone. And again, it's I'm glad I'm speaking up about this just because again I have seen videos of Cernunnos and some people's personal experiences with him. But again, to me, Cernunnos is more so kind of the primal part of me and the masculine force that kind of speaks through me sometimes. Again, it's more so like an energy, not always necessarily a form. And if the form does take place, it feels like it's part of my own form. But again, Morgan is kind of like that as well, where at times it feels like that the energy is more so my own and just kind of a reminder of who I am. And I think that just having that deep connectedness, that interconnectedness, that bringing it down to reality and learning and seeing how it applies to even who you are, I think is definitely something that can bring a lot of healing and can unlock parts of you that will help you gain a greater understanding of yourself. So again, I know that not of all of what I say is necessarily directly referencing Cernunnos, but it's all kind of interwoven where uh, he is definitely part of my has been part of my spiritual journey for sure, and I'm truly grateful for that. Um, and I hope that as time goes on, that people will be more understanding and kind of dispel the notion of horn beings, not that they can know that there are horn beings that mean well, just as Cernunnos means well, and to gain a deeper understanding of them. Because again, horn beings exist in our own reality. You look at male deer or male rams or male goats. and male moose, elk, stags, they have horns that are not only used to protect themselves, but also to as a expression of uh, uh, of male sexual prowess or virility, and I think it's important to have that healthy expression, just as how females have. For males to also be comfortable with their own sexual expression. And I know that with Cernunnos and satyrs to some extent, with them kind of being demonized, it has caused a kind of warped kind of perception of beings that would advocate a male's sexual expression. And even as well, there are also female satyresses as well, and to some extent that might also impact the feminine expression as well. But I think that learning to dispel all those distortions and all those misinformations and propaganda, and learning how to just work through and understand what their true meaning is at the core, I think is very important. And I think that is one thing that the Raven, the Crow, and the Morgan have helped me with, is they have helped me learn how to illuminate through the dark and kind of dispel certain illusions and certain mirages, and learning to understand what is truly there. And I thank them for that, and I'm glad that to some extent I can even thank myself, because it really, Morgan, Raven, and Crow are really a part of me, just as Cernunnos is, and uh, just being part of my own expressions, but just kind of, learning to work together as a whole, I think is very important. And yeah, I don't want to go on for too long, because I know uh, there are times where it can sometimes be a little bit long-winded, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm glad I shared this. I think it was very important, and I'm glad I had a bit of inspiration and motivation to do this, and I hope that that all my viewers enjoy this as well. And I'll be looking forward to potentially doing more videos like this in the future. I know I haven't done poems as of late. I know there may be some people asking about that, but know that I've learned there are times that just having these kind of rooted and earthy discussions, and kind of sharing them in a conversational, my thoughts in a conversational manner, definitely does help me kind of share my own thoughts and images in another form, and I'm definitely glad I can do that. And with that being said, I hope you all have a good rest of the evening. Bye.